Hey guys, it's Corey with Life Ends. I have an album review for you today, and it's one I have been thinking about doing for the past couple weeks, and finally trying to get in this today, or tonight. It's about, it's almost 4 o'clock in the morning, and I am awake. I just am. I'm like that. Anyways, gonna be some cats in this video again, I'm sure. I already tried to shoot this video like twice, and they're just getting in the way, but I can't help it. They're here. These are my buddies. And they're fucking assholes, but I love them. Anyways, so today, I'm going to be talking to you about the new album from Tribulation. This album's called Down Below, and it was released on Century Media last month. Tribulation is a band from Sweden. Ex-members from, I guess they had a band called Hazard, which I have not listened to, and then there was a member in Repugnant. I first heard of this band in 2013 with their album The Formulas of Death, and I loved that album. It was just a fantastic death metal album, and it's the death metal that I like, and it's a little bit experimental and really rockin'. And then their next album, Children of the Night, a lot of people liked it, and I got the style completely, but for some reason it didn't stick with me. I didn't come back to it. I was going through some stuff at the time with the death of my mother, and I didn't really, I guess a lot of the metal I was listening to was a little bit more in your face. I wasn't listening to as much like rock and death metal. So maybe that's why I didn't get into Children of the Night as much as I should have. But it was a great album. I listen to it every once in a while, and I think it's great. Anyways, before all that, they had an album called The Horror, which I'm not going to really talk about because I never really listened to it. I mean, I have listened to it, but not enough to really give an opinion on it. So this is their new album. This just came out about a month ago. Well, it came out like a couple weeks ago. And this album is called Down Below. I've listened to this album probably 20 or 30 times, just trying to get a grasp of what I think of it, because I've gone back and forth from really liking it to thinking it's mediocre. Then I turned it on after not listening to it for a few days, and the songs are really stuck in my head, and the riffs are really stuck in my head. I guess I could probably give it another month before I actually reviewed this, and I might have a different kitty. I might have a different perspective on the album. I don't know. I have a bunch of notes here. I've realized everybody can see a reflection of my glasses. I need glasses to see. I write down notes in just WordPad, just things that I want to bring up as I'm listening to the album. You know, I'll write down these notes and such. Anyways, I've got a cat laying upside down on my arm right now, which is pretty cute. So I guess I did a video about In Solitude and Cloak, and that was pretty cool. I wanted to talk about that, about bands like this with this style, and one thing I didn't think that much about was Dissection, which is, I mean, next to the classic stuff like Black Sabbath, I mean, Dissection is probably like my favorite extreme metal band of all time. You know, I say Black Sabbath as far as metal, you know, Black Sabbath and Candlemass and King Diamond. As far as extreme metal goes, nothing beats Dissection for me. Nothing. I got into Dissection through a good friend of mine when I was 14 or 15 years old. All I was listening to was punk rock, and he got me into black metal and some death metal, and Dissection was one of the many bands, with Storm of the Light's Bane, around like 1996, and my father had just died, and I was into, like I said, mostly punk rock, which I still love, and I still rock all the time. But I got into Dissection, and they're still my all-time favorite extreme metal band. And when John from Dissection died, I was actually, it actually like hit me pretty hard. They had released Rain Chaos, and I had ordered the special edition of the CD signed by all the band members. I still have it. I keep it in a box. It's one of my most prized possessions. I'll never get rid of that. And that album is Rain Chaos is a perfect album to me. People can talk smack all they want. It's something that I had never heard before at that time, and it still is very important to me. A great mix of death metal, black metal, and just rock and roll. And the songs, I still haven't heard an album where the songs were crafted in a way where they would stick in my head that much. And I think they were that perfect. And the closest second to that would be In Solitude's Sister. That album is another one. You cannot fuck with that album. You can't fuck with Rain Chaos. You can't fuck with In Solitude Sister. And you can't fuck with older Dissection either. I will defend that till the end. Those are some of the best extreme metal albums. And if you're not super into extreme metal, maybe you'll look down at some of the gateway albums, but I think those are gateway albums that don't lose any credibility. They're just fantastic, and nobody's gonna change that for me. The reason why I'm bringing up Dissection and talking about it so much is that after listening to Down Below over and over, and some songs catching me and then others not, and going back and forth, I really think that this is like a slower version of what Dissection was going for in Rain Chaos. I'd be pretty damn surprised to find out that the members of this band are not highly influenced by Dissection and that album. I just hear it a lot. I hear it all throughout the album. And fucking cat. That was something I needed to bring up. I really do hear it. Anyways, so I guess I feel like this sound in this album, I want to say I've heard it before, but better. But at the same time, this is kind of different. It's different, but I think it's highly influenced by that. So I'm not going to make fun of their clothes at all. It's part of it. I realized after making that video, I listen to black metal. All these bands, they dress in all kinds of fucked up ways, and I grew up listening to punk rock. I can't make fun of Tribulation for dressing like 70s cowboys. Anyways, that being said, no one will recreate Rain Chaos. I still think this is very influenced by it, but I'm gonna move away from that and talk about the album. So first off, the song The Lament has an amazing chorus, gets stuck in my head. Nightbound, the chorus on that as well. go up there. As well as the main riff, the guitar riffs in that song get stuck in my head. I feel like I'm talking about a pop album because this stuff really gets stuck in my head. And for me with metal, it's usually like a mood that I'm talking about. It's not so much the stuff that gets stuck in my head. And this band really has that. Lady Death, the leads in that song are fantastic. Those as well stuck in my head. Subterranea. That's the song. I know I said I wasn't going to bring this up again, but that's the song where they're at their most Rain Chaos-ish. Something about that song really screams Dissection, Rain Chaos. The track The World, they change it up a bit. It's more epic. It's slower. Almost feels like power metal at times. The song Here Be Dragons. That's where every time I listen to this record, all of a sudden, like the whole record might come by and there's or go by and there's parts that I love and parts that I might not. I might kind of just it just goes past me and I don't think about it too much. But in Here Be Dragons, somehow I always start listening when it gets to that song. It's the last track, and it's epic and dark, and it ends with what sounds like a xylophone. I don't know if this is like, if this is something they're going to use in the future, but they managed to make it sound fucking awesome. I don't know. The mix is fantastic. I wouldn't change anything about it. For a lot of these more rocking death metal and black metal albums, they for sure hit the nail on the head. There's some bands that have tried this style, like I said, with Cloak, stuff like that. Who is it? Take Over and Destroy, Toad. That band, they had some of this stuff in their discography. It's just some nights, like stuff like that. Fucking, that reminds me of this. And I saw that band. I saw Take Over and Destroy, and they even, the singer said something to me about my Dissection Rain Chaos patch, my back patch, and talked about it being one of his favorite albums. And that's another thing that band has, or at least their earlier stuff has a lot in common with this, and they referenced it as well to me in person. It's a style that I'd like to hear more bands do, but at the same time it's a style that I think I've already heard perfected. So where do you go with that? I want more Rain Chaos. I want more In Solitude Sister. I want more Cloak. Tribulation, to me, even though they're amazing, I don't think they're the best band doing this. I think they're at the bottom. And Dissection isn't around anymore. Not to say they sound exactly like this. They definitely were faster, but this album's a grower, for sure. I feel like every day I listen to it, and I either like it more or dislike it more. So I could, like I said, I could probably do a review for this in a few months, and my feelings will be different. At this point, just for how deeply I'm thinking about this album, how long it took me to do this fucking review, how many times I had to listen to this, I gotta give it at least like an 8.5 or a 9 out of 10. If I was gonna give it a score, it's gotta be. I know I'll come back to it. I already do. There's enough songs on it. Like I said, let's see, the songs I mentioned, by the way, the songs that I mentioned, those are my favorite songs. I didn't mention some of the other songs because those are the ones that they haven't really grown on me yet. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 songs out of a full-length album that has, let's see, how many songs does this have on it? Going to my trusty Encyclopedia Metalum. So it has 9 songs on it. So, you know, 6 out of 9 songs is pretty damn good. And I really like this album. It's one of my favorites that I've heard so far this year. It's probably one of the favorites that I've heard in the last 6 months. But for some reason, I keep questioning little bits and pieces of this album, and I'm going back and forth. But I do really like it. This review might have came off as a little bit negative. I hope not, because like I said, I do like this album a lot. I don't know. Has anybody done like a review of an album and then reviewed it again 3 months later? Because there are some albums that I had to listen to for months before I, really realized how much I love them. And it's crazy because this seems like one of them. So, anyways, it's the middle of the night. I am delirious. And I really wanted to put up another video. And I know this is a long one. And, yeah, please give me a like, thumbs up, whatever you fucking want to do. I don't care. I'm doing this for me. I hope some people like it. It's a hobby. If you don't like it, then, you can get fucked. Anyways, yeah. This is Corey with Life Ends. I'll see you guys next time.